Allah. We started an interesting conversation. Please, can we have water for distinguished as well? Yes. And if you are, I think there. Can we get everybody back on their seat? I believe that almost everybody has been served, including those in the front overflow. So let's get into the conversation. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time with us and for coming to meet the youths. They were excited, not just for the food, but for the lessons and knowledge that we're gaining from you. So at 25, you went to the House of Rep. Was it because you were from a rich background? Your father or somebody was influential, or how were you able to attain that feat at such a young age? And also, the law was just returned to allow a 25 years old go to the House of Rep. If I'm correct, they're not too young to long run. Do you think it's as easy as when your time? Did you find it easy as well during your time as a young person to have been in such an elected office?
Well, I'm not from a rich background. If I tell you the historical trajectory of my going through school, you'll be surprised. At a point in time, I dropped out of school and went and become a bus conductor.
Wow.
With a view to learning how to drive. But as a result of the perseverance, determination, I would say an enthusiasm displayed by my headmaster then, one Malam Makinta Zulum, is an uncle to our present governor, insisted that at primary 7, then primary 7 is the school leaving certificate, not primary 6 now, that I must finish my school. Under no circumstance should I go and be a driver. So out of, I think, spiritual invocation and determination and enthusiasm that he has displayed, they succeeded in returning me back to school, and I finished my primary school, went to the secondary school, to the university, went to the law school, and eventually called to the bar. Just to tell you that I am not from a rich background, I studied in Government Technical Secondary School in Gala. There are certain times when even transport for me to go to school after holiday, I don't have. I can vividly recall with nostalgia, deep sense of nostalgia, that there was a time when I didn't have money to go back to school. I just went to the station, and then all these pickup vans. I got one pickup van. The driver told me, just get in, by the time we reach our destination, you are going to pay. So all the passengers, unknown to them, they thought I'm the boss, I'm the conductor of the pickup. So they kept on contributing, giving the money to me. They kept on giving the money to me. By the time I reached my destination, I just dropped down and went with the money, together with the money. So that day, I got a free bus, a free ride, and even a pocket money to my school. So I sincerely regretted, at a later date, I regretted doing that action for taking advantage of the magnanimity of that driver. And if I can be able to locate him, I will really get good care of him handsomely. But there is no way. So just to tell you my historical trajectory of how I studied. So I'm not from a rich background. That's why I used to tell my children nowadays that this is how I went to school. Today, I sometimes, when I see them, I'm surprised that somebody that is going to school will fly plane, will go to school by air. It's complete surprise to me that you go to school by air. You go to London to study. It's a complete surprise to me. But that is how God works. That is how God works. So I'm not from a rich background. So on how I was able to be able to break the barrier,
that's
and
the word.
became or broke the genes to become a member of the House of Representatives at the age of 25.
One house, please. One house, please.
On my call to the bar, and after finishing my NYC in 1990, it coincided with the lifting of political activities by the General Ibrahim Babangida. So, and in my community, that is Northern Borno in particular, we are a little bit educationally backward, we are disadvantaged. So, by the time I became lawyer and came back, my community are very, very proud of me. My community are very, very proud. I think
the first lawyer from the community.
No, the second lawyer to be the second person to be a lawyer from the community. There is one, Mohammed Monguno, who also served as Attorney General.
And you also went on to serve as Attorney General.
I also went on to serve as Attorney General of Borno State. Subsequently, so he was the first to be a lawyer. So subsequently, when I became a lawyer, my community were very proud of me, that one of them, a son of the soil, has become lawyer. And I'm such a person that is also grassroots oriented. Grassroots oriented in the sense that even though I was able to go to school and become a lawyer and what have you, I didn't still break my link with the people at the grassroots. I still interact with the people at the grassroots constantly. So when the political activities were lifted by General Ibrahim Babangida, that is the SDP NRC era, our then governor, Maina Maji Lawan, I immediately enrolled into SDP. Just one day when I was on holiday, just when I went to my community, there is a political rally, political procession going on. So, out of eagerness, I joined the political rally. And that then he was a governorship candidate for SDP, Maina Maji Lawan. So when I went for the political rally, as I told you earlier, and the people are very proud of me that I'm a lawyer, whatever, they now told me to speak also, to speak to the gathering. So I now spoke to the gathering. When I spoke to the gathering, people were clapping at me and what have you. And then Maina Maji, the gubernatorial candidate of the SDP, said, this boy is a very good boy. We are very proud of you. So you are a lawyer from Monguno, and he is from a neighboring local government called Kukawa. So that first thing that I participated, I now ate the proverbial forbidden fruit. So I became interested. Whenever there is rally, I will join them. Whether it is in Monguno or even in Maiduguri. If I see SDP rally, I join them. Just like the way you people here have developed interest in politics. It's not all your colleagues that have interest in politics like this, like Comrade Mahmoud, Fatima, and Comrade. You flew all the way from Maiduguri to come and participate in this occasion. It's out of interest. So it's like this. I developed interest and participated in all these programs and what have you. So we did the campaign. And then our party, the SDP, won. Maina Maji Lawan became the governor. So, as it is in Nigerian political conduct, the governor that won was taken to tribunal. And then there are no good election petition lawyers in the whole of the North.
At that time.
At that time. You have to go to Lagos and recruit people like Chief J.O.K. Ajayi, or in the East, Clement Akpambo. Recruit them because they are the most senior lawyers that are well grounded in election petition then. So we went and recruited Chief J.O.K. Ajayi of blessed memory from Lagos. So he doesn't understand Kanuri. He only understands English. He doesn't know our local realities and what to do. So Maina Maji said, you, why is Barrister Monguno, MT Monguno, tell him, let us form a legal team with our locals here who are lawyers. So myself and one of my friends, Honorable Kumalia, who was at one point a minority leader in the House of Representatives, and one Barrister Monguno also, who is now an ambassador. Subsequently, he joined the foreign service and became an ambassador until he's now posted to London. He's now in London. Then he didn't join the civil service. So we are constituted into a team to interact with Chief J.O.K. Ajayi, who is a lawyer, that's because whenever the locals come for the purpose of witness examination and what have you, we are the ones that interpret from the locals to the learned senior lawyer. That is how we did the team. We won at the tribunal. They appealed to the Court of Appeal. We won at the Court of Appeal. Then immediately after we won with the Court of Appeal, it coincided with nomination to National Assembly. So the then Governor Maina Maji Lawan now said, Barrister Monguno, you have a lot of interest in politics. Now that there is nomination for House of Representatives and Senate, why can't you go and try your luck and contest for House of Representatives? Okay, just call me the council chairman then. His name is Saina Saleh, he's now late. And the party chairman, Lawan Buba, he's also equally late now. Call them for me. Then there is no these mobile phones, or even in Maiduguri, even the limelight. I have to go to Monguno with a letter that has written to me that the governor is calling you. So we immediately came. But before that time, they already have a candidate. They already had a candidate that they want to sponsor for House of Representatives. The governor called them and said, this is my candidate. Go and support him to be our candidate for House of Representatives. So we went back. They summoned that their initial candidate and told him, we are no longer supporting you. We are gotten directive from the governor to support Barrister MT Monguno. The man insisted that it's democracy, that he must contest. Even if the governor has directed that I am the candidate, he is going to contest. That he doesn't care about what the governor said. So we went for primary election. I succeeded in getting 150 delegates. He succeeded in getting 51 delegates. So I won. So that is the genesis behind my coming to the House of Representatives. And I think during that time, I served in the House of Representatives with the likes of Chief Oji Uzo Kalu. He later on went to become governor of Abia State, and now he's a senator.
And you're serving with him now today in the Senate?
Yes, we are now serving to him together with the Senate. And Rabiu Musa Konkoso. Wow. He was our deputy speaker then in the House of Representatives. He later on went on to serve as governor, minister, and what have you. And I think the Honorable Adodogwa, right now he's in the House of Representatives. Yes. We are together with him in the House of Representatives. And then this senator from Konkosia, senator from Kano, not Kausumela, Hanga, Senator Hanga. He is equally together with us in the House of Representatives. And we are now together in the Senate. So generally speaking, at that period in time, there is preponderance of more young men in politics. it is during that time that young men started developing interest in politics. For example, if you look at 1979, the Second Republic, 1979 to 83, most of the people that were in the National Assembly, the average educational level is school certificate, secondary school. But gradually, people that are educated, engineers, lawyers, people that have attained the pinnacle of their profession and what have you, started developing interest in politics. And that is why in the Third Republic, there is preponderance of young men and people that have variously, at least people that have gotten first degree, lawyers, engineers, medical doctors, and what have you, started rearing their heads in parliament. And then gradually, the thing is developing. Today you have engineers, professors, medical doctors are more in the National Assembly compared. So it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. So that is the genesis behind my coming to the House of Representatives.
Sir, I think this background story is very instructive. I've picked 5 lessons from this segment of his story. The first is in the power of service. He was able to get the governor's attention because he served on his team, perhaps even as a volunteer. Perhaps he wasn't even paid for that legal service.
No.
And so, if you have a political aspiration, this is an election year. On whose campaign are you volunteering? On whose campaign are you serving free of charge? On whose team are you working? Even here, as the youth headquarters of the APC, how are you thinking, National Youth Leader, how can I support what you're doing? Because when the election activities begin to come, if you don't volunteer for people in election, when election is over, you can't get opportunities and appointment and stuff because they'll say, where were you when we were running election? So if Distinguished did not volunteer on the governor's campaign at that time, it would not have been in a place where the governor called you. I'm not sure you did that today because to the glory of God, I had contested for chairman of my local government. I didn't get it. I contested for House of Assembly. They said they wanted to use somebody else. I should go and sit down. But then, immediately after that primaries of the House of Assembly, I went to, start mobilizing for my governor. So when my governor entered, and we worked for him, I was on the transition committee. I was one of the people that developed his manifesto. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olusegun, God bless his heart. After he got in, called me, I was sleeping in bed, and said, would you like to serve on the board of SUBEB? I said, Excellency, I'm work at your service, wherever you want me to. He said, tomorrow go and pick up your letter of appointment. I was in SUBEB, serving 2 years after. One day, the governor called me and said, I should hold on. He had just spoken with the president, and they agreed that I was going to be Lagos candidate for the national youth leader of the party. Somebody nominated me, the governor and the president. Somebody nominated Senator Monguno because of his service in his community. So the first lesson I've learned, which I actually reminded, but I think you need to take away, is where are you serving? Where are you giving back? In particular, this election year. That will determine where you are sitting now, determine where you are going to sit after the election is over. Kaba. So that's one of the first lessons from Distinguished that I learned. The second lesson is preparation. He was prepared as a lawyer. That was why when they gave him the mic to speak, he spoke very eloquently. How many of you are ready? If they call you up now, come and say something. Elevator pitch. People have come here and have gotten employment. They've gotten appointment just because they were able to express themselves. When the Senate President came here, there was a young lady here that was adopted by the Senate President. When the Speaker came here, there were people. When Deputy Senate President Barrow came here, there was a lady that wanted to go to Brazil. Senator Barrow paid her flight ticket about $1 million or $2 million. Some youths too. So, do you have what it takes to communicate? The senator was ready at that time, a 24-year-old boy at that time, or 23 before the election, to communicate. How are you owning your skills? How are you equipping yourself? That's another lesson that I learned. Distinguished, thank you very much. Please give another round of applause. Now, I'm going to open the floor for question and answer because tonight it's not about me, it's about all of you guys so that we can learn from him how he was able to navigate the terrain of politics and be able to rise consistently. He went on to become commissioner, Attorney General, Commissioner of Justice, Commissioner for Education, Commissioner for Environment before becoming a senator, even after becoming House of Rep member. There's something about longevity in public service. What would you consider the secret of longevity in public service? How do you continue staying relevant?
Well, the secret for longevity in public service and being relevant first is loyalty. Number one is loyalty.
Did you write that down?
You have to be very, very loyal to people, to your leaders. You have to be very, very loyal to the leaders and the powers that be. Two, you should not be over-ambitious. You should not be over-ambitious in the sense that there are people that we came to the House of Representatives together with them. After first term, they will say, I'll go for governor. And they will not make it. And they will now be dropped out. Or after serving for first term as a member, you will now say you want to be a senator. That is not how to. You have to mark your time and wait for the appropriate time. For example, of all the 5 terms that I have spent in the House of Representatives, I have never aspired to be a governor. I have never aspired to be a senator. But a lot of my colleagues that we came to the House of Representatives together aspired to be senator, they couldn't get it at first term. Aspired to be governor, they couldn't get it, they were lost out. But me, I didn't show any until when the leaders called upon me to contest for Senate, when that seat became vacant. That is how I now contested for Senate and became a senator. I am not an over. So one is loyalty. Don't be over-ambitious. Always wait for the right time to strike. Or wait for the right time to be called upon. That is what we told in Kanuri, we say, that is, if you are patient, the team will even come and sit on your lap. If you are patient, it will come and sit on your lap without any prompting. So after serving for 5 terms, I didn't say I'm going for governor or House of Reps. You see, naturally, the senator that was occupying the seat, who is now the present Minister of Agriculture, was told by our leaders to be deputy national chairman of our party, because the deputy national chairmanship was zoned to us. So they want somebody of his caliber to represent us at the party level as deputy national chairman. So he was asked to resign as senator to go and contest for deputy national chairmanship of our party to give us adequate and competent representation at the party level. The seat became vacant. So our leaders, our governor and then the present vice president, now asked me to step into that vacant position. That is how I became a senator. So, and then that's why I said, as I said earlier on, loyalty and not to be overambitious.
Your Excellency, you have said it very well. Many of you know a senator, a certain House of Rep member from Oyo State. He served 1 term from Oyo as House of Rep member, and the next election he wanted to go for Senate. And today he's not even in any of the offices again. I'm not going to mention name. But you know he's stubborn. You know he's stubborn. So people came, even on the plane this morning, people said to me, national leader, what are you running for? I said, running for where? The people that sent me told me to be national youth leader. They have not told me to go somewhere else. So this national youth leader, let me be there until they are ready to tell. I didn't ask for it. I didn't look for it. God touched their heart to call me. I was in Subeb serving. They called me to go to Subeb. They called me to come here. When they are ready, they will call me to go somewhere else. Inshallah. So you see, I told you tonight is a night of lessons. We have learned another thing from Senator. Now I'm going to open the floor for questions. So I'm not the only one talking. Can I have microphones rolling around? Too many hands up. We're going to try to I need a pen and paper for distinguish, because I don't want you to answer the question one by one, so that we can take as much questions. If you write it down, you will answer everything together. Pen and paper, please. Okay, for this first set, the people in the container. Okay, I think after Iftar, some people who were in the container left. So if you are in the marquee in the front, don't worry, camera will come to you. But if you're in the marquee in the front and you want to sit at the back, I think there are about 10 seats in the porter cabin. So if there are 10 of you, either in the walkway there or at the marquee in the front, that wants a seat in the main section here, you can come. There are 10 seats in the porter cabin that can accommodate you. I think some of them went after the food in Iftar. Now I'll take questions. We'll come to the front too for questions. We'll come to the marquee. We'll start from here. Okay, so those of you who are coming from the front, there's seats inside this marquee. Just go inside. There's seats inside there. The AC is also very strong. So there should be about 8 more seats. Just get into that door. Are there more seats? Yes. Come in. Come. If you are still at the marquee, you can get seats here. There are some extra. Even this white row, there can be like 3 seats here. There are 3 seats in the front here, so that we can also see you very clearly. Okay. Let me give you a number. If you start with this, your microphone, you're always carrying around to everybody's neck. I'll take 3 on this side first and 3 on that side. Then we'll go to the other side. So out of that 3, I will try to take 3 females and 3 males. I'll take that gentleman first. I'll take this lady second. No, I'm not taking you yet. That's the lady that they paid her ticket to go to Brazil. It was Varao that paid her ticket to go. So I don't know what question she asked today. Maybe she wants to go to Argentina. Okay, so no, you're always here. Let me say, any lady on this side. I'll come back to you. That lady with the glasses at the back, you'll be number 3, and I'll take you as number 2. Don't worry, I've seen the 3 of you for the next round. So 1, 2, and the lady at the back 3. Don't worry. Then here, I'll take you 1. I'll take this gentleman 2. Is there any lady on this side? Where? Okay, I'll take that lady as number 3. Then I'll come back. Don't worry. As long as Senator tells us we can take the question, we will come back to you. Go ahead. Please. No, we're coming inside that place. No protocols, no story. Your name and your question. Okay, you can borrow. Please, can we give live to the other mics?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tayo. Good evening, distinguished Senator. My name is Divine, and I'm a nurse by profession. So my question is this: how can young people move from being just political supporters to actual decision makers in governance? Thank you.
That's a good question. Yes, gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Dayo. Dear distinguished sir, I have a question for you. My name is Abiola. My question is simple. I want to ask that during your time, you were 25 years old when you became House of Rep member, all right? So I want to ask you that with the opportunity you had, I believe you merited it. Now, what are you doing, especially using your position to help Nigerian youths? Do you really believe our leaders, all of you, do you really believe in Nigerian leaders, youths? And what are you doing, trying to ensure that the youths take the lead in no distant time? Thank you, sir.
Good evening, distinguished Senator. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So my question goes like this. Senator, sir, could you say times have changed during your time? My name is Peters Nkesichi, sir. Could you say times have changed from during your time to now? Do you think it's easier now or back then? It's easier back then for youth to run and contest elections. And also, how can someone at the federal level mobilize support at the grassroots level when all your life, all your services have just been at the urban level? In Abuja, how can you go to River State and start?
Who is the next person?
Good evening, sir. As a Senator Majority Whip coordinating of legislative staff, my question goes like this. My name is Huzaifa Yero. I'm from Bauchi State.
Bayero?
Huzaifa Yero.
Huzaifa Yaro.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So what practical framework can be created to ensure young professionals are systematically integrated into legislative research, policies analysis, and constituency development, rather than being just engaged in politics or just engaged in election?
Thank you. I think that's another fantastic question.
Thank you, sir.
How do we take our young people from just mobilizers in campaign, our SA media, to become intellectual researchers, policy writers for legislators? And I think, you know, having the likes of those who are doing that for the vice president is really nice. Yeah, go ahead, continue.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Your Excellency. I'm Michael Ufot from Akwa Ibom State, and I have two questions, if that's okay.
Be fast with it, please. Thank
right,
you.
so the first one is regarding what you said, sir, regarding serving and knowing when the right time is. My first question is, when do you know when to actually, when the right time is? Because there are some times where, pardon me, but there's some times where you wait and wait and wait for a window and it doesn't open. And there are some times where you wait and wait, the window open and you don't even know the window opened. You understand? And then the second question is, for a young person who is regular, should I say, how do you transition into? I know you already said, you know, going into serving and all that, but how do you now? What kind of rooms are you supposed to enter? What kind of places are you supposed to enter to be able to be connected, or to be able to start serving, or start going into politics?
Thank
and
you.
all
Point
that?
taken. I think that's another. We have so many intellectual, very interesting questions. And I'll tell you this: in my local government, when I ran for chairman in 2016, and about 5 of us were young people that ran for that chairman about 10 years ago, and the reality was that I didn't stop. I kept on going. I kept on serving. I kept on doing the extraordinary things. And with all due respect and with, you know, glory to God, when I look, like 4 out of the 5 of us are still trying to get out beyond the local government, even in appointment and stuff. And so I get your point that how do you know when it's time? And it's sad. The other times where you serve, but the leaders don't nominate you. You know, I'm lucky, I'm blessed by God that the president, the governor, see my work and they nominate. But there are people that work for some leaders who would only, when it's time, it's only their children they will bring out. It's their family members they will bring out. So I think that your question, Renés, how do you then take action? Final one from this side, the lady at the back, yes. And if you are in the marquee in the front, please, there are some spaces from those who left. I'm coming into the container. If you're in the marquee in the front, or you're in the walkway here watching from the screen, or you are in the hall in the front where they did the prayer, the inside hall, you can come to the back here if you want.
Good evening, Senator. I want to specially appreciate you for this privilege. My name is Blessing Imohi. I want to use this medium to ask, from my observation into the politics, I realized that the ladies are not handling a lot of significant positions. I know there must be a reason for that, and I would love if you can highlight some areas that ladies need to sit up or do for them to be considered into the politics and be properly accepted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Before we give you the mic, sir, can I take 1 or 2 from this container and then on this first phase? Okay? I'm going to take this. Where's the camera? I'll take this. Okay, this man looks very passionate about this question. I'll take this guy first, and then we'll see.
Your Excellency, sir, I'm Kamaldeen, a public relations and media practitioner. So my question is, from my research, basically, at exactly 1989, you earned a law degree, and also 1990, you were called to bar. So my question, I've been very curious about how you were able to balance between the two chambers, being a lawyer and also being at the bar. Thank you, sir. So secondly,
wait. Being a lawyer and being at what?
Being in the parliament, the National Assembly. Okay, my question is, how were you able to balance between the two, having your own chamber and being in the parliament as well? So the second question is, what is that basic advice you are going to give to someone that is from Lagos State and is trying to get into politics? And we all know Lagos is a state like a country. So for a very young guy trying to navigate his way in Lagos State, what is that basic advice you are going to give to such person? And my third question is, is actually a request, sir. I was posted to the National Assembly for my service, but I was rejected. So I want to seek your support on this, basically, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening. Okay. My question is because I come from village, and I would like to ask question about our peoples. My question is that what concrete step is the Senate taking to address community where there is a little or minor visible government presence, especially in terms of security, infrastructure? Thank you, sir.
I'll come back to you.
Your Excellency, sir, my name is Saifullah. My name is Saifullah Aminu from Katsina State. I'm a COP member. My question is very simple and straight. Sir, what is one political truth you wish someone had told you earlier?
What is one political truth that you now have known, do you wish you knew earlier? One political truth that you have learned from your journey that you wish you knew earlier. No, we can't take any more from here now. Let Distinguished answer this, then we'll go to the all in the front. We'll come back here. Don't worry, we'll come back here. You have eaten now, so you have strength. So let's just wait.
Can I start answering?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the very robust questions that you have asked and very enlightening commentaries that you have made. This is a clear manifestation of the deep-seated level of interest that you have in participation, not only in politics, but in governance as a whole. There is a ray of hope in the horizon that by the time we are exiting, we have cropped a very vibrant and patriotic young men and women to whom we are going to hand over the saddle or the mantle of leadership to continue from where we stopped. There is a ray of hope in the horizon for this country, and I'm very, very happy that we have such crop of very enlightened and well-determined young men and women that have very good passion of moving this country forward. And today will be one of the days that I will sleep with my 2 eyes closed. That by the time we are exiting, there are people that are going to take up this and move this country forward. Because the reality of life is natural. There's the natural law of nature. No matter how much you try to perpetuate yourself in power, or no matter how much you try to cling to power, there will be a time, even by laws of nature, that you have to step aside, even if you are alive. There is no way you can continue to perpetuate yourself in power. Definitely, somehow, some people will take that place. Other leaders will come and take over. There are leaders that came before us. Today we are leaders. Tomorrow you will be the one. That is the natural law of nature. It's a cycle that everybody has to go through. With regard to the first question by Mr. Ibrahim, how can we people move from supporters to decision makers? Well, this is a very good question, very apt and germane, having regard to the situation the Nigerian youths have found themselves today. It's a very good and germane question, especially against the avalanche of youths that today parade our streets, as sometimes we call ECOMOC, sometimes we call area boys, and what have you, across the nooks and crannies of this country. But, as I said earlier on, I am happy and I would close with my 2 eyes, sleep with my 2 eyes closed. Because we have crop of young people like you that are eventually going to take. So the way that you are going to move from supporters to decision makers is what I told you earlier on. One, you have to participate. Power is not given a la carte. Power is not given a la carte. You have to grab it. And you have to grab it by way of active participation. We are in politics. You participate actively in your respective communities. But if you are a young man that now either came to Abuja for service, and you completely disconnect yourself from your community, that way you cannot actively participate, at least in elective office, or even appointive office. So one way for you to move from supporter to being active participant and active dramatis personae in governance is for you to actively participate in politics at your community level. And then 2 is for you to be loyal. Your loyalty should be beyond question to your leaders in your respective communities. You also have to prove and display your capacity and your intellect to the appreciation of your leaders and your community people. That way, for example, just like my own example, I didn't disconnect from my local community in spite of the fact that I'm now a lawyer and resident in Maiduguri. When somebody dies, I go and greet. When there is marriage, I go and participate in the marriage in my local community. During holiday, I will go, maybe during festive seasons, I will still go and then participate in the festive season in my local community. My local community will always see me with them. I identify with them and they identify with me. But if you say, for example, you have now become a professor, or you are an engineer, or you are now a medical doctor, you have now come to Abuja and you completely forget your local community, and you still have interest in politics, it doesn't work that way. So you have to go back to your community, participate actively, be part and parcel with them, identify with them, and then also display absolute loyalty to your leaders. So your loyalty combined with your participation will be the key that will open the gate for you to participate either in elective position or appointed position. Because even appointment, nomination is asked from the leaders. It's the leaders that were asked to nominate. If you don't participate actively, ab initio, if they don't know you, somebody that you don't know, you are not, what can I say, shaitan, to nominate him. You can only nominate somebody that you know. So even when it comes to appointment, if the leaders don't know you and don't know your participation, they cannot nominate you for either an appointment as a minister, as a commissioner, board member, or executive of the party, either at the state level or at the national level or even at the local government level. So participation and loyalty is the answer. Then Mr. Abiola asks, what are you doing to give room for youth to participate in governance? And I've been also sponsoring people at the undergraduate level. And also people that are not privileged, even with regards to write WAEC, to write JAM and what have you. So the first thing that I do is education. Education is the key to unlock human beings' God-given potentials. Without education, you cannot actively participate in governance or in nowadays move on with the agenda of moving Nigeria forward. So then two, the National Assembly in its own wisdom, having realized the fact that for our youth to be given the level playing field to participate in governance, then the legislative environment, a conducive legislative environment, is sine qua non for the active participation of our youths in governance. So what we do is to pass the not too young to run. You have a godfather that is sponsoring you to participate. But then the political terrain or the political environment has not been monetized at all. Then, even without money, once you have the acceptance of your community, you don't need to have a single cover for you to participate or run an election. Just like my example, a day to the primary election, I don't have a single cover. I don't have money to give to delegates. But even as at then, no matter how small, you have to give delegates something. Even as at then, me, I don't have money. I can recall with nostalgia, one of the businessmen in Monguno, local businessman, he asked me, why do you have money to give to delegates? I don't even know that they give more delegates money. I said, I don't have. He said, this man said, over our dead body for Umar Minter to defeat us. So the contest is not between even me and the other candidate. They now see the contest as between them and the other candidate. You see what I'm saying now? He said it is over their dead body for Umar Minter to defeat them. That is Umar Minter, their opponent, my opponent. Because they have now taken the fight as their own. That how can they support me? And then at the end of the day, because of lack of money, if I am defeated, they are defeated. They will be the one to be laughed at in the society. The man just went to his bedroom and brought out money, distributed, gave it to the delegates. And then at the end of the day, I won the election. but it is not as highly monetized as now. It is not as highly monetized as now. And one lesson that you can also learn from this is, I don't have money, but because of my acceptability in the community, people in the community brought out money and supported me. Unlike nowadays, you can hardly find, though you have some examples, community will gather money and support you because you are acceptable to them. But now, most of the time, it is the general rule that is the candidate that is going to mobilize the money to run the election. But then, even though you don't have the money, if you have the acceptance of the community, they bring out money to support you so that they run the election on your behalf. So it is much more easier then than now because the political environment is highly monetized now. But that notwithstanding, you still have an opportunity to participate in governance, whether at the elective position or the appointed position, once you are participating actively in activities of your community, you are grassroots oriented, and people have confidence in you. Even if you don't have money, you can still win an election. People in your community can contribute naira and kobo and support you to win an election. So the operative word here that keep on coming like a recurring decimal throughout our discussion here is participation, loyalty. If you are participating, your community can support you no matter how difficult the terrain is. And if you are loyal to your community leaders, because of your loyalty, no matter how difficult the terrain is, they can still support you to be something. Thank you. How do we make young professionals like lawyers, engineers, and what have you, not to be mere supporters, but to be crop up knowledgeable people that we can tap on their fountain of experience and knowledge with a view to moving our respective legislative or executive agenda forward? How do we do that? Well, right now, we have crop of young men that are being recruited, young professionals that are being recruited to support various political leaders in one field or the other. We have a lot of examples abound of such young professionals that assist political leaders to drive the agenda. So, and again, still, if you are a young professional that want to participate actively as a researcher or a professional that assists political leader, it still is for you to be closer to them. If you are not coming closer to the political leaders and interacting with them, how are they going to identify your God-given knowledge and then recruit you to participate or to advise them? So still, the key thing is participation. Even if you are a young professional, you should not be arrogant that I'm a young professional and then you sit down in the comfort of your office for people to come and recruit. We have a lot of young professionals like you. You have to come out and participate for people to know you and identify your God-given potentials to recruit you to be aides that are going to assist them, professional aides that are going to assist them to drive the agenda. Understood?
Yes, sir.
When is the right time to participate? And which connection do you need to contest? When is the right time to strike? I think that is the question you want.
Yes, sir.
So the operative word here is strike.
Strike.
That's the way I use it. So when is the right time to strike? Well, as I told you earlier on, you don't have to be over-ambitious. You mark your time. Don't be over-ambitious. If you are marking your time, there will be a time when, without much ado, people will say, this time around, this person, he is the one that is supposed to be so. Honestly speaking, people will say this man is the time that is supposed to be. He has gathered enough experience. He's a very patient person. He has gathered enough experience. He's loyal. They will point the finger to you. And if they didn't point the finger to you, you can strike. And when they strike, they will, with unanimity, support you without a single voice of dissent because of your overall characteristics and patience and what have you. So that is the right time to strike. So the right time to strike is not to be over-ambitious. Take your time, mark your time, steady, and when the atmosphere is conducive for you to strike, you strike, and then the leaders will support you. I hope that one is understood. Miss Blessing, you have raised a very fundamental issue that is very, very relevant and germane, and is in the front burner of discussions in our body politic today. That is the issue of women participation in governance. Because of the nature of our society that is patriarchal in nature, we have to think out of the box to make sure that women participate in governance. And we have to think out of the box in the sense that by way of making legislation, for example, the clamor for the creation of special seats for women in parliament. I am one of those that is not only preaching the gospel of women participation in governance, but also walking the talk in that direction. I can recall in the 8th Assembly, I was the one that sponsored the bill for the creation of special seat for women. But it didn't see the light of the day. It did not see the light of the day.
Your Excellency,
it was even
please allow me to interrupt. Ladies in the hall, let's clock it for distinguished Senator Omuna. Clock it.
So I sponsored it in the 8th Assembly, in the House of Representatives. It didn't see the light of the day. In fact, it was defeated at the second reading stage. I sponsored it at the 9th Assembly again.
Wow.
It even came for voting. But at the voting stage, it was defeated. But right now, it is still in the front burner. I was one of those right now in the Senate, actively mobilizing and campaigning my colleagues in the Senate for the creation of special seats in the National Assembly and in the State House of Assembly to allow women participation in governance, because we cannot afford to relegate about 50% of our population to the background. We just have to think out of the box, as it is done in other jurisdictions, in other climes. Like Rwanda, they have to come up with a legislation that allows for at least 50% of their assembly to be women. It's by way of legislation. If they allow it for the normal level playing field, because of the nature of our society, women could not get chance to participate. It has happened in other jurisdictions, and Nigeria cannot be an exception. We can do it, and we can be able to do it. And there is a ray of hope in the horizon. There is light at the end of the tunnel, that this time around, the bill for the creation of special seat for women will see the light of the day. there is ray of hope in the horizon, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, based on the body language of both the Senate, majority of senators and majority of members of the House of Assembly and majority of the state houses of assembly that we have across the nooks and crannies of the country. Then the other question is, how did you combine lawmaking and practice as a lawyer? Well, by virtue of the Constitution, once you are in public office, you are not allowed to engage in private practice. So by the time I became a lawyer, a member of the House of Representatives in 1992, effectively I have hands-off private practice, because by virtue of our Constitution, if you are a public officer, the only thing you are allowed to engage in is farming. You are not allowed to engage in any other thing private that will make you to earn additional money, so that there will be no conflict between your business and the public office that you are holding. So immediately I became a member of the House of Representatives in 1992. I effectively closed my chamber. Sorry, I didn't close my chamber. I'm not practicing in the chamber. Right now, the chamber is being run by one of my brother, Barrister Ibrahim IT Tujani, who is a lawyer. Then, what is the Senate doing with regard to ameliorating the security problem we have across the nooks and crannies of the country? Is from one of our young men from Katsina State. And we all know Katsina State is one of the states that is suffering the brunt of insecurity, and it has resulted to a situation that many people are being killed, people are displaced massively, they have lost their source of livelihood, their economy is in a state of comatose, and what have you. So what is the Senate doing with regard? Well, the primacy of governance is to guarantee peace, order, and good governance. And the reason why the people surrender their sovereignty to the government is for the government in return to guarantee their lives and property. That is the whole essence of governance, and that is the primacy of governance, is to guarantee peace, order, and good governance. Once government cannot achieve that, then the whole essence of governance is defeated. So, having that at the back of our mind, one, the Senate is legislating robustly by way of supporting the security agencies, by way of appropriation, giving them robust funding to get the wherewithal to fight insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, or all these indices of insecurity that we are having across the nooks and crannies of the country. One, robust funding to the security agencies to get the wherewithal to discharge their constitutional mandate is one thing. And we have passed series of resolutions calling upon the military or the police to intervene in problems, security front areas, insecurity front areas, with the ability to bring in succor to the lives of the people, because we are representing the people, and we have to be responsive, and accountable to the yearnings and aspirations of the people. That is what we are doing as a National Assembly. And we have first series of laws which has been assented to with a view to creating a conducive environment for our security agencies to discharge their constitutional responsibilities without let or hindrance. Well, the last question is the political truth that I would have wished to have known earlier than now. The truth that I would have wished to have known earlier than now. Well, I don't think I have known anything earlier that I would have regretted that I have not known earlier. I don't think there is anything like that, because God has been very magnanimous to me. God has been very kind to me throughout my political sojourn, throughout my journey in politics. I have been from one office or the other. God has been very kind and magnanimous to me, and I thank very God for that magnanimity. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to distinguished Senator Mohammed Tahir Monguno. Unfortunately, we won't be able to take any more questions. It's already late in the night. It's 9 p.m. and we want all of you to go home so you can sleep and wake up for
legislative session tomorrow.
Legislative session, and then even to wake up to eat at Sahul in the morning. Yeah, in Yoruba we call it Sari, just Sari.
Yes.
So that you can eat Sari and Sahul, whichever one you call it. And then be able to go out. Of course, the legislation tomorrow, and we're also going to be having Renewed Hope Summit at the Villa tomorrow.
Yes, yes.
But as a matter of fact, as I sat here, I got a message. I got about 5 missed calls, and I messaged and I said, can I help? The person said, oh, I have your letter. I said, are you bringing it to the youth house? He said, okay, I'll send a driver. I now said, sorry, what's your name? Let me save your number. He said, Senator Anyim Pius Anyim. I said, sir, please don't say that. I'm coming myself to come and collect it. So I'm going to his house from here. So we are going to be at the Villa tomorrow. I'm privileged to be on the panel with Senator Anyim speaking about the youth issues tomorrow. But I think one of the best privileges I've had is to be here tonight with all of you listening to an accomplished senator, a former rep member, a former rep whip, a former commissioner of education, at another time environment, at another time the Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, which is the #1 lawyer in the state of Borno State. And who knows what God has for him in his future. Maybe from here is another thing that is bigger and greater. But I'm hiding it in the cooler. I don't want to talk about it now. But I know what you are thinking. Our mind are sinking. Clock it. Your Excellency, we have here a young lady that you have supported to become the Member of Parliament for the Nigerian Youth Parliament from Borno State. Please stand up, my sister. Where are the members of the Nigerian Youth Parliament who are here? This is your sister from Borno, supported and endorsed by distinguished senators. So for those who are asking, how is he helping other people to rise? He was able to throw his support behind my sister. You want to say thank you? Say thank you yourself to distinguished.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to give the mic to one of my colleagues to please.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Akane Tienam. I represent Akwa Ibom South Senatorial District at the Nigerian Youth Parliament. So, sorry guys. So what I'm going to say today is I'm going to give a shout out to distinguished senator for your support to, I would say, the parliament, because Fatima is a rising star in the parliament. So Honorable Fatima represents Bono North Senatorial District at the Nigerian Youth Parliament. So she has, through your mentorship over the last year, she has been able to achieve so much. For those who understand parliamentary processes, so Fatima is the vice chairman of Committee on Rules and Business. She's also the chairman of the Committee on Gender Equality and Women Affairs. So she's also, through your support, through your mentorship, through your guidance over the past year, she's been able to achieve so much. She's been able to, she's the youth ambassador for the NYFF, that's the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund. She's also a member of the Open Governance Policy, the National Global Open Governance Policy. So that's an organization that seeks to push for open governance across the world, open governance policies, open governance systems. So we're here to appreciate you, sir, for your support, for your mentorship to her, and that has brought glory not just to Bono North Senatorial District, but to the Nigerian Youth Parliament as a whole. And hopefully going forward, we pray that you would give more support. Thank you very much.
Sorry, excuse me. Can I have the materials?
Yes.